Hi lovelies, karibu sana to my YouTube channel. My name is Glynis. Thank you so much for joining us if you're new here. If you're a returning viewer, asante sana. Thank you so much for the numbers I'm seeing in the subscription. I am so happy and so honored that you guys are supporting my work. Please keep sharing the word, keep sharing this video. If you're here and you're not subscribed to this channel, before we even continue, just go on, subscribe. Don't be shy. I don't bite. I am here to help you through your law school journey, and I hope that this helps you. So you should do that thing, just go there and subscribe. Now in today's video we will be talking to the high schoolers. You guys have been reaching out to me on Instagram, on email, and I am grateful. And today's video will be how you transition from high school to law school. So let's get into it. As a high schooler, you have finished your Form 4, you are in the middle of a global pandemic, and you're probably trying to look for how to navigate into law school. The first question, or the first thing that I always approach you guys with when you reach out to me is, do you actually want to study the law? Do you want to do it for yourself, or are you doing it for a parent or a relative or any other person? Once you are able to truthfully and honestly answer this question, why are you doing the law? Why are you studying the law? I have done so many videos that I will link down below on this subject. Please go and watch them. Please ask yourself this question. Please find out what your passion for the law is. Understand your why. But I'll give you a disclaimer. Your why will not be very clear. As long as you do see yourself 5 years down the line practicing the law, that is enough. You don't have to have all the answers. Life is designed in a way where you can only figure out so much of your life and have control over so little now. Everything else you figure out as you go. Remember that you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So if you're watching this and you're really feeling that deep down inside, the legal profession is what I need to be doing, I don't have all the answers, then the most important thing is to start. So what do you start by doing? You start by looking at universities. Now that you have finished Form 4, you know what your grades are. You know what the bare minimums of law school are. The bare minimum is you need a general or overall grade of a C+, and then you need a B in English and Kiswahili. I know I've messed that up in a previous video. It's a B in either English or Kiswahili, not and, so one of the languages. Once you have that, you can join in Module 2, or if you're fortunate enough, you can be placed by COOP. If you're going through Module 2, which is what most of you who approach me tell me, is you ask me which uni should I go to. I know there's a lot of hype over the big unis, the UONs, the MOIs, the Kisi universities, the Strathmores. Yes, they're very wonderful universities, but as you again know about myself, I did not go to a big uni. I went to the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technologies Law School, which was relatively about 10 years in by the time that I was joining, which is not by and large the biggest law school not the biggest law school here in Kenya. So the second thing that I'm going to tell you guys is look through all of them. And life has become so easy in this COVID era because they provide all the information online. I know some of you come to me and tell me, which uni do you think I should join? I always hesitate to answer that question because my experience was very different from what your experience will be. So my experience really was that I went to UON, I didn't like it. I went to Kabarak, I loved it, but I also went to JKUAT and I loved it even more. So I was a foot soldier. I went to these schools and I found the best one for me. And I had support from my parents who told me, do what you love. So for you who is at home and you're figuring out which uni should I go to, don't be afraid to do the work. Go to their websites, call them, go there physically if you can, find out about the student culture, find out about their libraries, find out about the how they undertake the profession, find out if they're accredited. An accreditation, basically, just to delve a bit into it, accreditation is whether they have the relevant license to offer law studies, and you need to make sure you go to a university that is fully accredited by the time that you're there, so that you don't have trouble when it comes to going to the Kenya School of Law or going elsewhere where you'll be told your university was not accredited to offer this course. So don't be shy to go to these universities and to find out what you want to do. The third thing that you need to look into is to look at what units do they offer. You will realize with private universities, they may offer a bit more units than public universities. For instance, when I was in uni, JKUAT is a public university, but it really did behave a bit like a private uni because we had over and above more units than other public universities. So once you find out of these schools, once you decide where you want to go, make sure you have a list of all the units they offer. The reason why you need this is, even as you have a general idea of what you want, you'll realize in your first and in your second year, you'll do a lot of units that are very compounded and very general. Towards the end, you start specializing. Towards third year and fourth year, you start specializing. So you need to see what electives are there. And the reason this is important is you may want to do something like maritime law or law of the sea, and you will see that maybe maritime law or law of the sea is being put together with conflict of laws. Or you might want to do something like gender and the law, and you see it offered as an elective against other units. Now the reason you look through all these unis is those courses are so important. For instance, you want to practice in insurance law, make sure your uni offers insurance law as a unit. For instance, you might be thinking, I want to be a tax lawyer. Make sure your uni offers tax law. It's so important you get these things at the start so that you don't have to maybe go after you're done and you're thinking of working at PwC, you're being told you didn't do a tax unit, so you have to go pay and do a unit and then come back and get a job with them. Please, guys, I keep telling you guys, don't get tired of looking for information. Look for all this information ahead of time. Now, I know I've bombarded you with so much so far, but once you get your uni, once you see the units, you will be able to figure it out. If you are looking for unis, also find out the fees. Just make sure your parents are able to pay it. There's so many alternatives to fees if your parents are not able to pay. There are sponsorships, there are bursaries, there are institutions that give money to people who want to study. There are all these avenues. You can go to them, you can ask for money, you can get help from HELB, and HELB is there to help you. Please. One last thing that I want to address as you transition from high school to law school that I'm usually asked is it better to study law school here in Kenya or to study abroad? Again, it's a very personal decision that you get to make, and it really depends on what you want to do with the law. If you want to study the law so that you can be able to practice here in Kenya, I would advise you to study here in Kenya if you want to practice here, because once people study abroad, which I said I will deal with in another video, and they come back here in Kenya, you have to do the pre-bar exam before you do the advocates training program. So if you studied here in Kenya, you have the advantage of not having to do the pre-bar, at least as it is. When you study abroad, you study the laws abroad, and if you want to practice here in Kenya, there is really not much value addition when you come back here, because you have to familiarize yourself with the laws here. I personally am of the view that you would rather do your LLB here if you want to practice in Kenya, do your masters abroad so that you can get that extra exposure. But there is nothing wrong with studying abroad, especially if you want your profession to be geared to maybe international agencies that hire. But I'll just encourage and let you know that studying abroad is expensive. If you can't afford it, we have very quality education here in Kenya, if I do say so myself. And I think you will get a very quality education here as long as you're willing to put in the hard work and you're willing to be the best that you could possibly be. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video this far. As usual, please share this video with someone who may need it. If you have finished high school and you're joining law school, I am so proud of you. We will be through this journey together. I have done a ton of videos. Do not be afraid. I will walk this journey with you. And if you have any questions, do not be shy to email me, to DM me on Instagram. I'm always willing to help where I can. And you can also get all this information in the various universities' websites and in Kenya School of Law websites, and there is just a ton of information for you guys to consume. Please don't forget to be kind to one another and also to yourself, and have a very, very beautiful day. Bye.